This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
The meaning of consumerism. The concept of consumerism describes an analysis category that arises with mass production development and consumption expansion. It is a social and economic order that emphasizes the need for consumers to purchase large amounts of products. It is the cultural expression and manifestation of the ubiquitous act of consumption. It is basically used to refer to a way of life that is preoccupied with consumption. In our society today, consumerism is seen as a negative aspect of people's lives and purchasing behaviors. It is also believed to be the cause of materialism in society. In simple terms, consumerism is a condition that arises when consumers buy goods and services without considering their true need, their quality, and the consequences of their production on the environment around them. It is, therefore, a movement driven by the spending of huge sums of money on things like advertisements without taking into account the true need, durability, and origin of those products. It is an economic system driven not by the real needs of the consumers but by artificial wants. For instance, in consumerism, it is believed that people no longer put on clothes to cover themselves but only to show off. If these clothes are expensive, they become attractive even if wearing them is not needed at that time. It is, therefore, a result of greed but not need. The consumer must have met all the basic needs before consuming commodities, which leads to consumerism. According to Toscan, we normally tend to consume many products after we have met our basic needs. These products may include luxury items and ethnological innovations. It is at this stage that consumerism arises because when people consume luxurious products, they are not driven by actual needs but by artificial wants. Consumerism, therefore, arises in the course of consumption of a variety of items that are beyond basic needs. Consumption may cause environmental damage because people may consume less than what is produced, leading to the wastage of surplus. The surplus will cause pollution if it goes to waste. If consumers demand more than what can be produced, there will be overexploitation of resources. When the commodities that the customers demand are manufactured, there may be a lot of emissions and waste materials. These emissions pollute the air, water, and soil, causing the death of aquatic organisms and the death of those living in the air and soil. Even human beings may contract some diseases associated with this kind of pollution. Effects of consumerism. Examples of known environmental effects. Although consumerism is believed to contribute to materialism in modern society, it also has positive effects. It is believed to have created a culture in which the emergence of mass markets, industrialization, and cultural attitudes increase people's earnings, making it easier for them to meet ever-growing consumption needs. The main basic tenet of consumerism is that human desires are infinitely expandable, and there are many ways to produce products to satisfy them. Consumerism has both positive and negative effects in the society. For instance, in most cases, it interferes with the normal functioning of the society. It denies the consumers the chance to buy adequate supplies for meeting their life necessaries and community life. Instead, they seek to gratify an insatiable desire for things and means of buying them. They do not take time to observe the utility that would be obtained from the products bought. This kind of attitude results to surplus productions of products which end up getting wasted. This leads to adverse effects on the environment. There are a number of ways that consumerism results to environmental degradation. For instance, there is air and water pollution. There is also land contamination due to wastes from surplus goods. Land contamination might lead to forest degradation. The organisms living in the soil cannot survive when the soil is contaminated. The plants that need the same soil in order to survive and be fruitful will also dry up when there is soil contamination. Most of these waste products form acidic substances in the soil, making it hard for that soil to support any form of life. Forest degradation that results from soil contamination also makes the land prone to more harsh conditions. For instance, due to this degradation, soil erosion is very common. This escalates the problem of water pollution because the soil containing chemicals will be washed away into the river. This shows that if one problem is not solved, it will lead to the other. There are also industrial wastes that cause pollution and automobile emissions that affect air and water. Water pollution mostly interfered with aquatic life and might result to deaths of aquatic organisms. According to Toscan, the kind of lifestyle that people adopt determines the impacts that they will have on the environment. The kind of lifestyle in the United Kingdom, where Toscan based his research on, determines the amount of carbon dioxide that will be emitted. Carbon dioxide emission has been the point of focus on most of the economies throughout the world. The emission of carbon is harmful also to the lives of people. If inhaled by human beings, there is likelihood of contracting some diseases. This becomes very costly for individuals and the states. World bodies and governments' action in protecting precious resources. In protecting precious resources, various governments have put measures in place to ensure that these resources are guarded against. For instance, to protect the environment, most governments have passed laws that deal with pollution issues. Companies that are emitting some gases that are harmful to the environment are fined heavily if they do not control the emissions. His fine is high, so companies will find it hard to lose a lot of money by breaking such a simple rule. It is meant to discourage them from using some energy sources that produce such substances. The companies are also encouraged to use sources of energy that are environmentally friendly. Governments have also put in place some measures to address the pollution of water and soil. Governments are imposing heavy penalties on companies that pollute the water and soil with waste materials. According to Mcpherson, governments are also subsidizing alternative sources of energy in order to make them affordable for companies. This will ensure that the company will only use those sources of energy that do not emit harmful gases. If you want to find more works like this essay on consumerism positive and negative aspect, head over to ivpanda.com. It has a collection of free samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects. No registration required to access it.